welcome back to Intuition Nutrition. I'm here for the second time with my lovely guest, Kristin Misik. And Kristin, this time we're going to talk about your other business.
All right. Woohoo. Yay. I'm happy to be back.
I'm so excited to have you back. So if you tuned in before, you heard that Kristin's an acupuncturist with a big history in Chinese medicine and nutrition, and she's very passionate about helping people. Well, now she's going to tell you a little bit about what else she does to help people, which is to help them grow their inner confidence. Am I right?
That's right.
Okay. So can you tell us how you came to this?
So it's interesting. I really believe that I see so much illness and so much breakdown of the body because at some point in our lives, we start prioritizing for our well-being in the wrong way. In other words, we do what we think we're supposed to in life. Like we go to school and college and we choose a profession and we get into it, and then for a lot of people, they get into jobs and careers that really aren't that meaningful. They aren't that fulfilling. And they don't want to necessarily change things because they don't see what's possible for them. Mm-hmm. So they go through the motions. They do the day-to-day thing. They feel stressed out. They feel dissatisfied. They're generally a little bit unfulfilled on some level or another. Mm-hmm. And the body starts to break down. It starts to respond in just basically in sickness. Mm-hmm. So I really and truly believe that when our spiritual selves are in sync with our physical and our mental, emotional selves, disease does not exist within the body. But once we're not really following the messages of our heart and the callings of our soul, if you'll have it, then we start to get symptoms. We start to get messages that we're really not taking care of what we need to be taking care of. We're not really on the right path. Mm-hmm. So for so many people, especially women who I work with, they are too afraid to dream their dreams or listen to their heart because they've already set along this path, and they don't really know how to shift. They don't know how to steer the boat in another direction, basically. They don't believe that they have what it takes. They don't have the confidence to do it. Mm-hmm. So I believe when we can really cultivate confidence within ourselves, that we can set ourselves onto a path for health and healing. So that's really the basis of how I got to be where I'm at right now.
That's awesome. I can tell you're so passionate about it, the way you talk about it. Did you go through some kind of aha changing moment that made you realize this was a path for you?
Well, I think it took some sort of outside influencers to help me kind of recognize within myself that I already saw this breakdown happening, and I took it upon myself, not really with any specific training to do so. Mm-hmm. I took it upon myself to sort of start encouraging my patients, like, look, you're going to have to get out of this city. I'm in New York. It can be really stressful and chaotic. Like, this is not a healthy place for you, or you need to get a new career, or you're going to just need to leave that relationship. It's not helping you, or you're going to have to start doing things differently. And anytime we talk about doing things differently, it's very scary. Change can be really frightening for a lot of people. And so when I looked back over my own life and I thought, well, what have I done that I've sort of been creating this blueprint for how do you live a healthy life? And I reflected back and I thought, God, I've faced so much fear of failure in my life that I should teach other people how to do this. I really know what it takes to get over it. So, for me, this journey has been one of, from the time I was a young kid, I was really into water skiing. It's an adrenaline sport. I was really competitive at it. I learned how to literally fall on my face and get hurt and be scared and go over jumps and ski in my bare feet and do all this stuff that was really petrifying and really well suited for a teenager, I suppose, because, you're like a little invincible. Mm-hmm. But, I took that sort of experience of not having it all figured out and not knowing how to do it and learning over time that it does take repeated failure on the path to success. And then I kind of just went out on my own. I went to college. I moved from Wisconsin to Florida. I jumped across the country. I then ended up in Germany and lived there and worked there. And I really kept following my heart. I just kept following, what do I feel like is the right thing for me, and going for it. And so, I know what it's like to be afraid, and I know what it's like to kind of transition through that fear and break through that resistance to get to a place where I think I'm a pretty good living, breathing example of following your heart and, really taking care of and listening to the calling of your spirit and honoring your body to experience happiness and fulfillment in your life.
Yes, it sounds like you are. I mean, you're a mom, you have your own business, or two businesses, right?
Yes.
You survived the city life.
So, but now I'm out in the country. I came back to my roots. You can take a girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl.
That's right. No, believe me, I'm from a small town myself. I hear you. So do you have any way, if people don't live near you, how can they work with you?
Oh, this is what's really cool. So all these years working clinically in Manhattan and seeing all these people struggling with these, confidence issues, which were being manifest in their physical well-being, I was like, there's got to be a way that I can do this for people who cannot get access to me. Because people would move away and they'd be like, oh man, I miss you so much. I got so much out of our sessions and, you really believed in me. You really gave me the motivation. And I was like, I could just be a coach. I could do that. Yes. So I set out on this path to create a formal process for how I fuse the 5 elements of Chinese medicine into my work and really look at things from a holistic, very organic perspective. So I do all of my coaching over the phone.
Oh, sweet.
Anybody can work with me if they have a phone.
If they have a phone. That's awesome. So do you have a particular program, or is it just they get in touch with you and you work out something with them?
Yeah, so generally, I have people apply to work with me. They can go to my website, KristinMisik.com, and they can fill out a free awareness session. And that's a 30-minute call, and we kind of explore, are we a good fit for each other? Can I really help, fit your needs? What do you have going on? And then from there, I generally put everybody into a minimum of a 3-month program. And, the reality is, if you really want to make lasting change in your life, you've got to put some time and some energy into it. So I stand behind what I do to really get people to a results place. I like results. I'm very results driven myself. And so I've just learned, you got to stick with this for a few months to really get the minimum results that you really want to get.
Yeah. That's great. And so what kind of people do you work with? Like, who do you help? Do you have sort of a general...
Yeah, I primarily work with women. I have done some work with men. I think that I can communicate and connect and relate a little more easily to women. Not all of them are moms, and I'm not just focused on moms. That's not really my niche. I really specialize in the professional woman, whether she has started her own business or just needs to jump careers and jump professions. That's really the woman I specialize in. She's smart, she's savvy, she's really into her own personal development and growth, and she's just kind of tired of the status quo and doing things the way she was told to do them or thought she was supposed to do them. And she's just ready to kind of break the mold and do something new for herself and her life.
But maybe doesn't know how to do it, needs a little push.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, I've been trying to do this on my own. I can't seem to break my old habits. I feel stuck in a rut. Yeah. I need someone who has been down this path, who has, faced these same kinds of fears, walked through the flames, and can really just show me how to get from here to there.
That's awesome. I love these ideas that you can just help someone over the phone. This didn't exist, I think, like maybe 10 years ago, right?
I know. I mean, I don't know. It didn't exist for me anyway.
I know. Well, you just had to forge your own path, it sounds like.
I did. I feel like a real pioneer woman in that regard. And I just, I like shortcuts. I really personally believe in shortcuts. Sure. And I think we're in such a fast-paced time that it's really fun to do this work because I can see people do in a fraction of the time what it took me to do it. It's like, energy is just moving so much faster these days. So it's really cool to be on someone's journey and just see transformation happen so quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. It must be very fulfilling.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really great.
One quick question, because I know you're also a mom. How do you get any of these benefits of being a coach when you're talking to your daughters, helping them in, I don't know how old they are, but
they're 3 and 5, and I have to tell you, being a coach has shaped my mothering in a really, really great way, because I suddenly have this basis for, I feel like if my girls can believe in themselves, if they can really and truly feel like, they can do anything they want in their lives, then I am setting them up for not only success, as we think of it in, broad terms, but really success in their bodies and who they are, and feeling really good when they wake up and feeling like they can do and be and have whatever they want in their lives. So Yes, coaching has absolutely shaped my mothering, and it's it's a really fun process because I see what helps build my girls' confidence up, and I see what doesn't, and so I can play with it and be in that supporting role and on a whole other level.
What lucky kids! That's all I gotta say. All right, so Kristin, where can people find you? Can you just say your website one more time?
Yeah, they can check me out at KristinMisik.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
I encourage everyone, we didn't get into this, but one of the coolest things about my work is understanding what I call your essential elemental archetype. There's this understanding in the 5 elements of Chinese medicine why we are the way we are, why some people are very self-righteous and moralistic, and other people are really challenging and they're real assertive, and why some people are really dramatic, or other people are just always giving of themselves and not doing for anybody else. So I would encourage people to check that out because it will just open you up to this broad expanse of how I've woven Chinese medicine into my coaching work.
Is it a quiz or is it a reading or?
It's basically just a little PDF ebook, little downloadable guide that they can see. It's called Discover Your Essential Elemental Archetype. There is not a quiz yet. It's coming. There's not really a quiz, but you can kind of see, oh, this really sounds like me. This really explains me, or I'm nothing like that. So it's kind of fun to play with and see.
I'm going to go right over and get it because I want to know.
There you go.
All right. Well, Kristin, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. All right. Well, everybody, please check out KristinMisik.com. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time for more food for your mind, body, and soul.